Hello and welcome once again, folks, to Realm of Racing as we're here at the second to final last race at Abu Dhabi. The season is winding down. There's a 27-point gap between first and second place here as our second place man, David Jahood, is going to look to climb back up and try to make it in the fight going into the last round. With me, as always, my man Hunter. How we feeling this evening?
Man, I am doing good. The spirits are definitely higher than they were at Jeddah. Nobody wanted to race Jeddah. Still iffy numbers this week, but definitely a lot better. We had 10 last week. We got solid 15, so the boys will be out there being racy today. And yeah, Abu Dhabi, second to last race. I mean, we spoke about it last race how David obviously wasn't able to show for family reasons, and it looks like Tails took that race to get some points, and then he decided to bow out of this race while David gets the points going into the final race. So, I mean, if David could win this race, realistically, he will go into the final race with a 2-point deficit. So, I mean, David has all the motivation in the world to not DNF. Because if he DNFs,
something on the board.
if he DNFs or doesn't get any points, the championship is won. The championship is done. And Tails will take it. He has a 27-point gap at the moment. Obviously, we know the max amount of points you can pull home as one driver is 26.
Yeah, no, he's like you're saying. He's obviously gonna want to get a good result, but at the same time, though, has got to get something on the board
Right,
too,
he has to
or
keep it
it'll
clean.
be over with. So
You're absolutely right. He has to keep his nose clean. This is absolutely essential for him. As yeah, we take a look at the driver's standings. What's going on here? Weird that my PlayStation Home just came up without me pressing the home button. But anyway, no, we've got obviously the moment 27-point gap between Tails and David. Total Carney sitting on 198 points, so 77 points back from Tails. Actually, that gap is not correct. Ignore that. But and then we've got Canadian behind Tails by about 9 points. Groovy still back there, who's not going to be racing for the rest of the season. And Gelfie, the only close one beyond them, 144 points. He's been having a pretty up and down season, to be honest with you, as TC has, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see what the two Alpines can do, if they can, just get a bit of good luck going for themselves. I mean, the Alfa Romeos together as a team had 19 podiums during the course of the season. I mean, that's just
11 wins.
That's just 11 wins from Tails. And yeah, that's incredible. 10 wins from David. The only reason why those numbers don't match up, obviously, we know David was in the Aston Martin car when he first joined, but unfortunately we lost Joe. So we made that switch. Tails and David then teamed up together, and the rest is history, really.
Yeah, no, definitely a solid partnership, and they've kind of ran away with the constructors so far.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And typical, just like real life racing, a lot of things could be so much different. TC had so many unfortunate wrong place, wrong time. Nothing to do with his driving, just having to get clipped or something, and the thing could be completely different. But
yeah, and I mean,
I love driving though.
Excuse me. Hold on.
This Canadian goes ahead and puts it on P1 for the moment. 136.08. Tito Sampson at P2. TC on the medium set of tires goes P3. Nat as well running the mediums. And Bio also on the mediums and runs out the top 5 right now.
Yeah, my bad. I would, literally mid-sentence, had a cough attack. It was coming, dude. I had just coughed
I feel that.
4 times, 5 times, and I'm I got watery eyes.
Where you got just enough to say something like, hey, hold on a second. I've been there, bro. I've been there.
Oh, man. But, and I can't even remember my train of thought either. That's sad. But, we're all good. David hops into P2 on the mediums as well. Both Bio and David choosing to start on the mediums. Yeah, Bio goes for a 135.966 and David goes for a 135.997. So only about 3,000 separating them, 300s, whatever it is. You know what we're trying to say. But
It's
also
very
in
tight.
there. Tito also
It's
in
less
there.
than the blink of
I
an
mean,
eye.
yeah, the top 5, extremely close so far. Matt's also up there with a 136.3. We've got
Looks like
guys.
a new driver as well, Black Bella.
Right. Black Baller and who else? Well, Irfan, who had that DSQ at the beginning. I don't know. That was before we even introed the stream, so yeah, he had a weird blocking the pit lane. Not even sure what happened, but yeah, nonetheless.
Yeah, potentially bug.
And also, I don't know what happened to J-Mick either. J-Mick is also DNF.
Yeah, I seen that come up. I never seen his car nowhere though, so I'm not sure if he just decided to retire or what there, because that's definitely a very. Oh, and there goes Nat Hammers around. It just misses a Red Bull who comes by.
On board with Gelfie right now, just set a purple second sector, but he's just invalidated. Oh, very easy to do at that chicane. That's
which we know now doesn't even exist anymore. Will be a different layout. Which this track, I feel like, with the new layout, should, in my opinion, looks like it'd be a pretty decent track. A lot better.
I mean, just to kind of go off for one of our, signature little rants here. I mean, Canadian and I were talking a little bit earlier in the chat, because Australia Grand Prix has been releasing they're kind of doing like a series where they're slowly they're explaining all the updates that they made, so everything gets its its place. Yeah. Which is pretty cool because everything that they did is getting kind of like it's almost its own episode. But no, nice. It's really cool to see, and we were talking about it, and he's kind of thinking he's on the pessimist side where he doesn't think it's the Codemasters will give us these updated tracks. Abu Dhabi, Australia. We know Baku changed the entry into a castle.
Yeah.
And there's one other track that made a couple changes. I can't remember for some reason, but yeah, we don't know if we're gonna get them.
That they would, but I am with you. If we do not see it, if we don't see it next game, I would not be shocked. Though.
I would be mad. I'll
be disappointed for sure.
I'm usually pretty good. Yeah, I'm usually pretty good at not getting my hopes up for things like that. But man, that would really disappoint me. Like that would really disappoint me.
To not have the corner, where the championship was won.
Right? Are you kidding me? That's such a good point. That's such the corner that Max made the overtake on Lewis at is not even a corner.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chicane coming into that corner now.
Right, right. That's they took away that small chicane and they made it a longer corner.
Like, if you're going to be the official game of F1 as a rank,
right.
then you just
act like it, man. Like, I want to curse, man. Act like it, bud. Like, you know what I'm about to say, man. But yeah, no, I really do. I hope. I
am with you there, 100%. Looks like a couple other guys are on board with TC. Looks like getting a little bit of a tow from his teammate there on this lap.
Yeah, getting some help, some friendly teammates there. Gelfie helping out TC with his qualifying lap. We'll see how much it helps him. I can personally say, in a league race this weekend, I got tow from a teammate on Singapore, and it literally pushed me ahead of the pack. I set a lap 5/10 faster than anybody else in Q3. So I mean, that made me realize how impactful a good tow can be. And we know that even it was on the DRS. Well, obviously there's turn 1, 2. There's that first combo of corners, and then you have that quick right-hander into that straight. That's where he gave me the tow, which I believe is the longest straight on Singapore. So it was perfect. It was perfect.
Because the second DRS.
Tito!
Oh, there's a car right there in front of him, but he does squeeze around it
and
gets it on pole.
TC does go on pole, yeah. He just has to avoid the Haas that was there. I think I actually saw. Luckily, we're not on simulation damage because he did run something over.
Run
I
over.
saw something kind of fly up as TC came across the line, but obviously, I mean, it wouldn't have made. I mean, if he got a puncture there, it would be like Gasly
At
getting
that
a
point.
puncture at Jeddah in qualifying. Did it really make a difference? But
No, I was on board as well. He definitely ran over that piece, but and sent it flying 150 feet in the air.
I'm on board with
But
Canadian
on pole,
now.
though.
See what he can do. He's in fourth position right now. Going down this awfully long straight. See how much curb he takes. Choosing not to really touch much of it. I think he had a little small lock up there as well, but doesn't lose too much rotation. Keeping to the inside. He's got the Ayrton Senna helmet. It's one thing that we do have in common, as well as obviously we are both named Hunter. So it's kind of weird when we're in the five lappers, and we always choose AlphaTauri as well. Yeah, the AlphaTauri to me is absolutely gorgeous. I think they've made such a good livery. Not too flashy,
it's
not too
gorgeous.
simple,
It's
just beautiful. And that blue is my favorite.
The color, like the white rims, set it off. To me.
Man, yeah.
Like the livery is beautiful. Like,
that's balls, man. Like nobody, I haven't seen anybody do that.
When Canadian steals it.
Maybe did the Lotus have gold? Like did one of the Lotuses have gold? I can't remember.
You could be correct. Like in 2012-ish, kind of.
But I mean, in short, and as Canadian also does take pole with a 135.451 over TC's 135.522. I mean, it's going to be interesting here because if nobody can bridge this gap here between Bio and TC, Bio and David are going to have a huge advantage going into this race, being able to start nearly at the front. I mean, they're in their second row on the mediums. So I mean, this could be a really good play. We'll see if anybody is able to, slap on the softs and get in a good lap to be able to maybe split that pair up. And actually, we're seeing David pop on the softs. But, I mean, we've seen David do this many times. More than likely, if he doesn't see too many people pass him, he'll back out of that lap immediately.
Yeah, just wants to protect himself.
Right.
And stuff, which is definitely it could be a smart play.
Strategy could also be interesting. It might be a two-stop. I think Abu Dhabi is still a two-stop. So yeah, strategy could be interesting here, and that's why I think if people are able to start on the mediums, they can easily probably do it. If they want to do a medium to hard, they could, but I think a medium to soft is very, very effective on stop tracks. We will see. It'll definitely be interesting. Still sitting Canadian and TC on pole. Gelfi coming across the line. Goes 7th.
Yeah, there could be definitely some variant strategies out there.
Baller coming across the line. Baller goes 5th. He puts in a 136.0, but still not good enough to split the top 4.
Yep, no, still right behind. So is David just going to hang back? Oh, and it looks like Azure invalidated on the last corner there.
Oh,
that's
man.
Unfortunate, too. And there is a tire. I think that is Tito's tire still sitting there for my
I think TC is definitely going to be fighting for pole here. He's got the softs out. He's got a fresh pair of softs out. And I think there's not going to be any pulling out of the lap for him. I think he's just going to go full beans to take this pole position off of Canadian, because Canadian has retired, so he is comfortable with the lap he has put in.
Yeah, this just shows that our delta is not correct, because TC's still probably going to put in this lap, and it's already showing qualifying over.
Oh, for me it shows 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. For me it's showing 0.
Oh,
and still
that's
time
weird.
remaining.
That's weird. Yeah, so it's showing 30. He'll definitely get to the line on time. Well, hopefully. Hopefully it's the right time.
Yeah, no, he's crossing the line right now.
Yeah, here he goes now on his final lap. David's also out there couple people, well, actually quite a few people on their final lap, so we're going to stay on board with TC. Gelfi actually does go third. He goes on a third lap on those soft tires, and he still managed to put it at P3.
Oh,
I
minor
think
lockup, but
TC
still looks pretty quick though.
Yeah, I was mixed up. I was on board with Gelfi, and I thought it was TC. It was like, it looks like he's pulled out.
He had a little bit of a lockup, but it was
Vapor takes third. Vapor with a 135.6 takes third place for now. We'll see if anybody's able to maybe do a better lap. But now we're seeing Bio and David. They've been split by 3 different people now. TC, Vapor, and Gelfi.
It looks like David's kind of pushing a little bit here, coming through the final sector.
I'm going back and forth between TC and David. TC's just set a purple.
Oh, and David invalidates right there. Oh, and he almost wrecks it too.
So he has no choice but to accept. I mean, he may have done that on purpose, but he has no choice but to stick with this time that he is on right now. And he's in 6th place at the moment. What can TC do here? Oh, TC touches the wall!
Touches the wall! Oh, man.
And surely...
How much time did it scrub there? Obviously a little bit, but is it still going to...
He does!
He still takes pole, though.
By 3/10!
35-1.
By 3/10, TC takes pole. Even after, you know, definitely having a pretty good scrape with the wall. But I think maybe he had already gained so much time. I think maybe he could have gone even faster. Maybe even put in a 134, a high 134. But that was a great lap from TC. So TC starting on pole, Canadian in 2nd, Vapor in 3rd, Gelfi in 4th, Bio in 5th, David in 6th, Black Balla in 7th, 8th is Tito, 9th is Bonhomie, Nat Hammer starting in 10th. The first free choice of tires will be going to Azure in 11th, Thunder in 12th, Routine in 13th, J-Mick and Irfan, obviously with the early DNFs, did not put in a time, so they will be starting at the back 14th and 15th. But here we go. The grid is set. TC on pole. I'm just hoping. I'm not. Nope. Not gonna say it. Not gonna say it. TC, so I hope you have a terrible race.
Horrible. But no, so David should still be on the mediums and Bio, so they're look like the only 2 that are going to be starting on the mediums right there. Still not a horrible position, but obviously.
So even from 10th though as well. Even from 10th, Nat will be starting on the mediums as well. And then obviously 11th and back will have the free choice. But yeah, in terms of fighting for what could be a win here, yeah, Bio and David.
You know what I mean.
Doing a good job here. Of course, I know what you meant. Doing a good job here, though, of at least staying in the top 6 because, you know, anything can happen inside that top 6. Also, shout out to Vapor. First time I think we've seen him inside of the top 3 in a qualifying. So shout out to Vapor.
Yeah, pretty tidy gap right there too between all within the 1 second all the way down into P8.
But I'm gonna go grab a beer, so it is on you to entertain for like 30 seconds.
Oh, that's too much time. As we get a little bit of scenery from the track here. And they'll be here very shortly. We'll get our formation lap underway. And this should be a pretty decent one, though, because I think that a lot of boys are going to be real racy. The grid is kind of shaking up a little bit. Some people a little bit out of place.
Why does it look so bright?
It does look like the sun has come out almost. Is it still a night race?
It is.
It'll probably get dark as soon as the formation starts going. I bet it starts getting dusk looking.
Session start time realistic. Yeah. Alright. Okay, so at least I know I didn't mess it up. It just looks really bright. But now that anxious time of waiting this race to get started. Obviously, starting off with the formation lap.
Yeah, the boys will try to get them shoes nice and warm. Try to get this little bit of brake temp. Yeah.
Track
Yeah,
map.
another racing should be decent, I imagine. I just really wish, yeah, the track was updated already, and I feel like the racing here would.
It would be so much better.
Yeah,
I mean, same with
I didn't want to
Australia.
say a lot better, but I believe it will be a lot better.
I truly will boycott Australia and Abu Dhabi if they do not have the update center. Like, I will refuse to schedule them in. If I'm still running the league, I would refuse to schedule a league race on there, and I will refuse to league race on there on those tracks. I won't do it.
Refuse.
Won't even set a time trial lap. Nope.
No, that'll just stay blank for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can personally say I raced with Vapor in a Sunday league, and I mean, Vapor's been just slowly improving. He's starting to get to the point. I mean, some people I just think peak at different points of the year. I think people start out very quick. I know personally that's not me. And some people, you know, just take half the game cycle sometimes, and that's not even, you know, like a diss, but sometimes it's just how it goes. It takes you, you know, 6 months to really figure out either the game or the mechanics or the setups, and it seems like Not So Vapor has just finally, you know, the light bulb has gone off in his head. Because I've seen
him on podium. What was that? Only a few races ago, I believe.
You are right. Yeah, because I remember interviewing him. And yeah, no, I've seen his performances in the other league, like I mentioned, and he's definitely been improving. So we'll see what he can do in this race here. We've got 2 races to go here in ROR. Our championship contender, David Chahoud, is in 6th place on the mediums as well. Here we go.
The lights are ticking on. The revs are starting to rise. And they are underway. Looks like TC got a pretty decent jump, though. Looks like the Ferrari also gets a real good jump, too.
Gelfi was on the inside of Vapor, and he pulled out. Unfortunately, ends up losing the position to Bio, who was on the outside of Vapor. So Gelfi losing a position, David staying where he is in P6.
Yeah, they're starting to single file here. Canadian falls back.
J-Mic's already up 4 positions. Irfan Wasim is also up 3 positions.
J-Mic making more right here.
He's up 5 positions now.
Made a big dive bomb there. And it looks like more is coming too. Is Azure dipping out as well?
Our leaders are still just gearbox to gearbox, just about 3/10 separating them, about 5/10 separating them now after the weird chicane that I think that one got removed too, right? I don't remember. Maybe that one didn't. I think that one might actually still be in the track. I don't know, but it should have gone anyway. Nonetheless, TC keeping his lead while they obviously try to build a gap to the rest of the field, but Vapor doing a decent job, but he is falling back now. Starting to fall back about almost a second heading into the 3rd sector, the last few corners of the 3rd sector. We have a yellow flag. What is this?
It's Nat Hammer and
Irfan, yeah. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah. I just seen both of them stop on track.
That's unfortunate. Irfan was up, I think, 3 or 4 positions. Dude.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, they are starting to pull a little bit of a gap, the top 2. And Vapor's still holding Bio in them back, though, doing a very nice job, though. Canadian just holding this time right now. Looks over a little bit, but not close enough, though.
Blackballa and Irfan both heading into the pits. TC and Canadian about half a second. Wait, what happened to Vapor?
Whoa, where did Vapor just go to?
So Vapor's just dropped down. He must have had a spin.
He does, and now
he's right behind Vapor. I don't know how I missed that.
I was just that, and he goes a little bit of contact.
It's a little bit of elbows out there, just a slight contact. But I mean, he's in a rush now. I mean, he's just lost 8 positions, so he needs to desperately try to win back some of these positions. He's in 11th place now, has 3 seconds to catch up to routine and get back into this pack.
Yeah, that was very, because I didn't ever see no yellow flag or nothing either pop up. It was interesting. But either way, Canadian still within half a second. Bio about 2.5 seconds back to them. David still hanging right back behind him. And J-Mix still climbing. He's got Bon Homie right in front of him, and with DRS enabled this lap, potentially might be thinking about making a move coming up.
Yeah, Canadian has stayed considerably close to TC, so maybe just weighing his options, just waiting for the right moment. And obviously on this long straight coming up, they're going to have DRS. We might see possibly a couple lead changes, as David also is now into P4. Bio is into P3. So our top 4 is shuffled around a little bit. And our championship contender is in a very good position.
Not close enough. Is he going to dip down to it? No, he's going to dip in behind. So close to the rear.
Might be able to get the cut back here, get a good exit, and get him on this turn. He's going to get another dose of DRS. But TC looks pretty quick in a straight line, or he just got a very good exit out of there because Canadian not looking close enough. Or like he was really even gaining that much on him with the DRS.
Oh, that's what I was almost thinking too. So TC had either, like you mentioned, beautiful exit, or what kind of downforce is he running?
Right. Yeah, I mean, and they're still building, even with the subtle. I mean, they're not really fighting quite yet, but even with the way that they're driving now, they're still building this gap out to Bio. Bio is about 3.5 seconds behind, but David is just half a second behind Bio, and we know they have a little bit of a history in this league. They've come together before.
And again, well, it looks like, is David going to be close enough on this next run, though? He's
I think, yeah, it's probably better for him to wait. I think he'll definitely be pretty close to be able to make a good run into the 2 DRS zones that'll be coming up. That is one thing about Abu Dhabi. It's definitely not impossible. We have a yellow flag. That's a Mercedes. That's Vapor going into the pits, unfortunately. After starting in 3rd, just not having a good start to the race. Yeah, TC is gaining on Canadian with DRS. I mean, now it's starting to come back down. But TC is an absolute bullet in a straight line. And it looks like Bio also has some solid straight line speed, because David not able to get past on this occasion. One more dose of DRS for this lap. We will see if Canadian can maybe make the move.
Thinking about it, I think he's still too far away, though, like you're saying.
And look at this, J-Mix getting past. Are the softs going off already? I don't know. We're seeing these softs not really. The soft runners have not been getting the good end of the stick as of yet. I mean, our top 10 has turned into a lot more medium runners than I would have expected, especially only 4 laps in. And J-Mix catching David and Bio. This man's on a mission.
He is definitely closing in. But I think Gelfie did run a significant amount of laps on the quali, though.
You're right. He did do 3 laps.
3 laps. And J-Mix has a little bit of a moment.
Well, hopefully he can keep it together. Needs to push, but needs to keep it within his bounds, as he does still have Gelfie and actually quite a horde of drivers behind him. He's got about 4 drivers behind him: the Alpine, the Red Bull, the Haas, and the Williams.
Yeah, no, they're all still pretty close right now, as there's kind of 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th both have these 2 little DRS packs going.
But here comes Canadian.
Might be closer, and I think he might go for it.
But still, just look, he's closing, but with the
Wow,
toe and DRS, he's still, it should be so much more than this.
That is interesting.
He's not wanting to go for it there. He's just not close enough. And David as well, not close enough to make a move. Gelfie gonna stay behind J-Mick.
Now, did they update the DRS?
This is, yeah, I mean, TC's straight line pace, but here comes Canadian again, just not close enough. Like, Canadian is just getting to the point where he just needs maybe 40 more meters, 30 more meters of straight, and he could get the move done, or at least attempt to make the move, but he just doesn't have enough room. The straight line speed on TC so far this race has been insane, and I haven't been checking the ERSs, but nobody's flashing as of yet, so...
Yeah, no, he's just a little bit too far back each time where he'd have to do such a dive bomb, and he's... Oh, as TC has a moment coming through the last corner there, he saves it, but Canadian's going to go into the pits, though, anyways.
Yeah, that's an early pit stop. We've seen a couple guys go into the pits already as well, but that is early, especially with how close the whole pack is. He's going to be down the grid, very far down the grid. Let's make sure okay, so no damage or anything. This was something that he planned on doing, maybe going for a huge undercut, but I mean, look where he's at. He's going to come out in P11. Got a lot of work to do, but we'll see. This is where the medium drivers, they're going to see a huge advantage because they'll be able to come out of the pits, and everybody will have already done a pit or two, and they're not going to have nearly as much traffic to get through. This could be tough for Canadian to get through all these cars and still be in contention.
Yeah, 6 laps in, so it's definitely interesting.
I mean, TC's also on the softs. We'll see if he responds, but in my opinion, TC, if you've got some more life in those, spread it out. Keep going, because at this point, Bio isn't necessarily catching you. If you were to pit before, Bio's on the mediums. He's gonna pass you anyway. That's not really your worry. Your worry needs to, at least at this moment, be Canadian. So I think he should stay out, but we'll see what he does. You never know what those percents are on.
About 3.5. Yeah, exactly. You're not sure how much they've been pushing and how much tire life. We don't get the fancy graphics that F1 be popping up.
He's staying out this lap. At least, so TC does not choose to go in. Probably smart. Maybe using this track map to see how far back and how many people Canadian will just have to go through.
Yeah, like you mentioned, that the gaps are not coming down between first and second. There's still a 3.5 second gap. So
no, TC's just genuinely got great pace this round. Bio's got very good pace as well. I mean, we're seeing that the championship contender David can't get past him. I mean, he's been chilling behind Bio for just about the whole race. I mean, we do know that they have history, obviously, so maybe some of that may be creeping into David's head, knowing that he cannot have an incident that knocks him out of the points or out of the race. So maybe just being sensible.
Cat and mouse. He gets right back on the gearbox after the DRS.
One of the Mercedes, but we're good.
On Vaporsip's the fastest lap.
Mediums as well.
David's a little bit closer this time in the entrance. He's still going to be too far back, though.
Yeah, not close enough on the coming up to the braking zone. And we were saying J-Mick was catching, but I mean now it seems like he's just kind of relaxed in this position. He has them in sight, can definitely see them, but not necessarily pushing towards or making much of an inroad. He's kind of staying around that 2-second gap. But he actually, now that I look at it, he did just gain a couple of tenths on the 2. So we will see.
Yeah, he's kind of just been chipping away here, just a little bit at a time. Maybe trying to keep the life in the tires for a little bit longer, as TC is going to go into the pits now, though.
And yeah, Jor is up 6 positions. Jor's going to go into the pits as well, but he's on the mediums. So this is pretty early for a medium runner. But he's up 6 positions, probably feeling like he's been pretty advantaged. Gelfie picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Where will TC come out? Canadian passes TC!
By. I was just trying to say that Canadian goes by.
And it's by a wide margin. The undercut worked for Canadian, by a big margin. He's about 5 seconds ahead of TC.
Wow.
And, I mean, as well as this, he's got the DRS. He's already got the tires warmed up. And he might get this move done on Routine now. Routine just trying to probably not have any, doesn't want to battle him too much. He knows that that's not his battle to win. This isn't his car that he's battling against. He's more so towards the mid-pack, but using the DRS and the toe nonetheless.
Beautiful for Canadian now. He's back into P5 already.
I mean, as weird as it sounds, you know what comes to mind? I don't know if you remember Great Britain. It kind of seems like Canadian just getting back at TC for that. If you remember, I remember
TC had the undercut
went
on
an insane undercut. He went about 2 or 3, maybe even 4 laps earlier than everybody chose to go in. And then you just see him overtake all these guys at once when they decide to finally pit. I mean, Canadian maybe just paying that favor back a little bit later in the season. But great racing nonetheless. He's behind Thunder now in a provisional 4th place. I don't believe that Thunder has stopped yet. No, he has not. So Canadian is provisionally at 1st place right now. He's the highest person on the grid that has not, or that has done their pit stop. Bio, David, J-Mick, Thunder, and Routine all have not pitted as of yet. But obviously everybody, every single person on the grid right now on the medium tires.
Yeah, as I was peeping David's ERS a couple times. Oh, he might go for it this time. He's super close to Bio.
Canadian as well on Thunder.
And he moves over before the braking zone, makes it stick.
So David gets past Bio, and Canadian is going to get past Thunder with a beautiful cutback. I switched to David. I kind of wish I would have stayed on board with Canadian because...
Bio's coming right back at him. He's going to make it. Oh, and they're super close there. Bio's going to make the pass back.
Yes, he does. But this is going to bring J-Mick even closer into the fold. J-Mick's already made up about 5 or 6 tenths with this battling.
You can see his car. I'm looking backwards on board. His car is just getting closer and closer.
And these guys still have a lot of time till they pit. But this is for important positioning. I mean, you need... Oh, there's a yellow flag. Who is that? That's a ROR, I think. Yeah, it is. But no, as I was saying, you need, as a medium runner, it's majorly important to go into the pits as the first medium runner. So Bio and David fighting for these positions is very important. So they need, this battling here could really decide a lot. And that's unfortunate with the ROR spinning, especially because he pitted early, like quite a bit earlier than he probably needed to. So that's probably a little bit annoying for him, but.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and that's kind of bringing Canadian back into it, too. He's only 7 seconds back now. So when these boys do come into pit, even if it's safety car or not, he should be sitting very pretty.
You're right.
David's
look
super
at this.
Close again,
yeah, here comes David down the inside. He's going to get it done before the braking zone. But we do remember there's going to be another dose of DRS here. And Bio is still very close. And here comes Bio again. Bio's going to get the move done easily.
It just slings it around.
This is great battling from the two of them.
He said, you pass me in the first one, I'll pass you in the second one.
No, it's just very smartly played by Bio at the moment. But J-Mick still falling back, about 2.1 seconds back.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time there. He was almost on that fringe DRS, right. 1.3, 1.5. Now he's fell back, though.
Yeah, considerably.
Yeah, Canadian is just reeling him in, though. He's already made that 7 seconds into 5.7 seconds within less than 2/4 of a lap.
Very true, but you have to think that that favor will be returned later in the race.
Oh, for sure.
When those medium runners get to slap on those softs and the roles are reversed, so we'll see. And I mean, this is what I mean. The alternate strategy is overpowered. If you can make this work, it's guaranteed that you're going to make up positions. You're going to undercut people. whether it's from them crashing out or it's just from your pace. You're going to be at such an advantage being on those softs later in the race while you're low on fuel and all those things. So, I mean, Bio and David can cruise away into the sunset.
Uh-oh, and look at this strategy. David there, he does not pass this time. I watched him downshift into 7th and rev it.
Playing it a little bit differently, learning from possibly his mistakes on previous laps. But look at this. Bio is maybe putting the pedal to the metal because he looks a little bit farther ahead than previously. This is going to be tight.
Close here.
He is going to go for it
on the outside.
No, he pulls out.
Bio does a good job. He tries to switch back, but Bio with a beautiful defense just parking it right in the middle.
See, and that's why that chicane has to go. The cutback was definitely there, but the track just narrowed up, and they had a chicane coming about 20 meters ahead of them. So,
the room just you're right. The room was, or the move was on, but the room was not.
Right, there. The track just didn't allow for it.
And it's a shame too sometimes when a track denies great racing like that, but
we'll take what we can get for now, I guess. But like we said, next year if you don't give it to us, you're dead to me. So J-Mick is hopping into the pits, going into lap 12. See if anybody else. I mean, the only guys that have not still pitted is Nat, who's down in 14th. And David and Bio, well, and Routine as well, sorry. So all those guys still on about 10 or 11 lap old mediums.
Yeah, trying to push them as long as they can.
Yeah, and this battle for the provisional lead, it is our closest battle right now. David just needs to stay close enough through this corner.
Oh, and get the retires. Run. Oh, he does it in pit. So yeah, he has. Bio has a little bit of a moment too.
Bio just opened the door, and David might not look back. He's already made the move.
Yeah, and a big.
And this time there's no DRS to save Bio. We'll see how close can Bio stay throughout the rest of the lap until we get to the next DRS section. But a great move, smartly played by David. He was waiting lap after lap after lap for his moment, and he finally took it. And this time I think he's going to have it done.
So hard to achieve sometimes. Racing and patience sometimes don't always go together.
Right.
But
yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, especially with F1 cars. I know when I first started playing this game, the idea of trying to go as fast as you can, but the way to be faster in some ways was to be slower with your movements. It was so hard to it just didn't click in the brain for a very long time.
The algebra doesn't add up.
I was just that meme with all the calculations like flying by my head.
In your head churning.
But yeah, so we're going into this straight here now, and Bio's still in the DRS, but he's still a ways back. But who knows, with 2 DRS sections, he could close that in. He's about 7/10 back. We'll see how close he's able to reel this in. And yeah, Canadian is in P3 now, but TC has actually worked his 5-second gap down into about a 3-second gap. Actually, a little bit less than that, 2.5. And it is getting smaller and smaller. So TC, who has 2-lap newer tires than Canadian, may be looking a little bit better on pace right now, but we'll see going forward.
Big Bio is close enough here to get this move done.
Yeah, he will.
Yep, he does go around.
Yeah, he'll slide through easily. So David not able to get that move done completely. The battle continues. And I think one of them will just have to choose to pit at this point. I don't think this can be decided right now.
Continued.
And David's actually flashing on the ERS, so I think one of them will most likely choose to go into the pits here soon. Did J-Mick pit?
Yeah, J-Mick pitted.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. So they both stay out for a little bit longer.
That's who I'm intrigued for. So J-Mick's going to get the DRS from Routine. I'm interested to see where Bio or David, whoever pits first, comes out in comparison to J-Mick. Because if J-Mick plays this well, he could actually be on a very good undercut on the 2 leaders.
start on the softs or did he start on the mediums?
Now that is a very good question.
Damn,
I
I feel
cannot
like
remember.
he started on the mediums. Is he
That I
going
can
for a two-stop?
let's see. Let's have a look-see. That's lap.
Oh, and yeah, he's not close enough to routine yet with the chicane, but he's getting there. And there goes David back around Bio into the first DRS section this time, so he's going to try to hold it.
Oh yeah, J Mac DNF qualified. Free choice. I think he started on medium.
I think he did start on mediums
So
as
he's
well.
gonna do most likely a medium soft as he does get past routine here.
And the battle continues up here. It has brought Canadian in significantly as they swapped hands.
And I mean,
Probably
as I just do
3 to 4 times.
As I just do the quick math, 14, 16. J-Mix within the pit? I think J-Mix within... They're going to come out behind J-Mix. I think David and Bio, no matter when they pit, I think they will come out behind J-Mix. And possibly also, you know, routine. And Tito's right in there as well, only a second behind them. I was going to say,
I think Bonhomie might be the front, like before Bonhomie might be the fringe point.
So they would, yeah, I think... That's the lowest, I think. I think they'll definitely come out... Like, the lowest they could go is coming out right ahead of Bonhomie. The best case scenario would be to come out, like, in between Routine and Tito or J-Mick and Routine. But I don't think they can do... I don't even know if they're in that gap. I think, just being that they will be coming out on cold tires, I think they might be able to have the opportunity to be in between them. But just having cold tires coming out the pits, trying to be careful. We'll see, though. We'll see. But I think it could be very, very interesting coming together towards the end of the race with all these different strategies.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be. It's gonna be, I think, a tight one as we've seen the leaders here, and Canadian is getting right back into the mix, closer and closer here.
Yeah,
and I just imagine one of these
Canadians
two are
nearly
gonna have
made
to
up a
pit
pit stop gap.
Oh, and they have a car in front of them here. Who is that? They got a little bit of lap traffic coming up in front of the leaders. Is that going to affect them?
Yeah, ghosting is off, but the bots do, I can say, well, at least on Singapore, they do a good job of actually getting out of the way. But we will keep an eye on it. The only thing is like now, they're coming up to it in a complex of corners. This is the only situation where the bot is probably not just going to slide to the left. Now it should. But time has been lost there. You can see now.
Yeah, a lot of time.
That's the only time I remember, obviously, on Singapore. I came up into the tunnel section, that little small, or bridge, I should say, and the thing just wouldn't get out the way. And then it finally, just after that complex of corners, finally moved.
Well,
but
it pulled a little Sergio there.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, J-Mac picks up a 3.
Penalty.
That's unfortunately, it was on the second to last corner. Very easy to do, just went a little bit too wide, but this year, I mean, yeah, better a penalty than a DNF because, you know, when you go too wide on that second to last corner, that orange sausage curb is just staring you in the face, ready to end your whole race. So, but didn't he also pick up a penalty earlier? Okay, so no, he's on 3 seconds. Tito has 6 seconds. Gelfie has the 5 second from the speeding.
Balla picks up 1, 2.
Bonhomie, yes, Bonhomie picks up. Has a 3 second. Vapor has a 3 second. Black Balla has a 3 second. And Nat Hammer has a 3 second.
Canadian, is he? No, he's not going to be close enough here.
Here goes
David's going to get down.
Or what?
Oh, they're side by side here. That little bit of a touch-in, though.
Oh, yeah, this is... Oh, Canadian's going to go down the inside, and he's going to get that done.
And now David's going to lose the move a little bit. Tiny bit of wheel bang and stuff, just racing, obviously.
But again, I think this is just a good example of David. He doesn't need to win this race. We know that he just needs to, you know, keep that nose clean, just keep it clean, and he'll you know, he'll have a chance at winning this championship that he's.
Oh no, Bio's gonna come in.
Yeah, you're right. Bio does come into the pits.
You don't want to lose it by losing your wing and losing out. You definitely don't want to lose it this late in the season like that, for sure.
And yeah, so here comes J-Mick. J-Mick's gonna get it done. Yeah, J-Mick's got the move done. Tito coming around now. Tito's also gonna get it done on Bio, and he might come back. He might come out behind all of them. He might come out behind all of them.
Close.
He's coming out now. I can see the Ferrari on Ferrari.
Yeah, it's gonna be close here. I think Routine.
Routine comes out behind Bio. Or sorry, yeah. Bio comes out in front of Routine.
Just in front of.
So
now he's got Gelfi right there. Oh, a little bit of contact.
A little touch.
He's gonna dip down to the inside here. Probably gonna have a big run. Yeah, DRS.
Doesn't even need the toe. Knows that with the soft tires, he's gonna have a way higher top speed anyway. Gets the job done on Gelfi. A little bit of elbows out there, but no harm done. Tito in 5th right now. J-Mick in 4th. TC chilling in 3rd place right now. Okay, yeah, he pitted. When did he pit? He did it. Oh wait, let me just look at it.
TC.
Okay, so he's on 8-lap old mediums. That's right.
Yeah. So is David gonna come in this one, or gonna be interesting here?
Yeah. Also to mention, I mean, the gap between
he is gonna come in.
Wait, Canadian's in the pits.
Wait, Canadian came in too. Wow, this is interesting. David's coming into the pits. So TC's going to go ahead and jump back into the lead. Is Canadian going to have some damage
is
here?
Interesting because...
No, he's just throwing on medium.
I can see what he's doing, but at the same time, it's very risky. So, I mean,
goes up into P2.
Basically, what Canadian is thinking here, because he already had the tire advantage, he saw the leader go in, and he knew that he didn't want to get caught up later in the race. Now he knows that nothing can happen in turns. He's got to get some moves done, but I think he will get these overtakes done on Tito, maybe even Bio.
Yeah, but he didn't lose too much.
So yeah, we'll see though.
Still in sight.
You got guys like J-Mick though as well. I think J-Mick does have to pit one more time. Yes, he will have to pit one more time because he started on the mediums. So I would assume he's actually going to come in any time now as Canadian does get past Tito there. Vapor sets another fastest lap. Thunder's heading into the pits most likely for the final time.
Yeah, so J-Mick...
Oh, we've got a DNF! We've got a DNF!
Oh, that's Routine.
It is. Oh,
Yes,
is that in the pits? Because his car's moving.
No, his car is on the wall over there. I'm riding on board with Black Balla. I believe he's about to go by him here.
Oh, yeah.
And he is on the side.
Is that gonna... It hasn't caused a safety car yet. There's another yellow flag, though. That's the Mercedes.
Oh, Nat Hammer goes a little bit wide there, and that's right in front of TC. And it wisely gets out the way and lets the leader go by.
Oh, my heart dropped. I'm not even joking, man. I'm not even joking, dude. Oh my god, dude. Thank you, Nat. Thank you, Nat. Oh my god.
Yeah, so, the times are starting to come in now. Fastest laps are dropping.
Yeah, TC has about a 6.5 second, a little bit more than a 6.5 second gap on J-Mick. The McLaren, the Ferrari of Biohazard is just about 3 seconds behind him. And Canadian, obviously, just having gone into the pits, is going to have the tire advantage on all of these guys inside of the top 7. So he's going to be very racy. Bio's going to definitely be in trouble here coming up to these future pit stops, or these future laps. We've only got about 8 of them, 9 of them left.
Yeah, so David lost out a little bit there, staying out a little bit longer. Overcut did not.
Yeah, I would think that some pit stops would start coming in any time now. People are going to start coming in, probably putting on the softs. That's just what I would think. But
J-Mick having some moments there, coming out of a couple corners.
Penalty's definitely going to come into effect as well. Sorry, go on.
Oh, no, he saves the car, but wow, J-Mick was facing the wrong direction there and had to lift completely. A beautiful save, but very scary moment, though.
So here comes J-Mick up onto Nat. Nat again does a good job of getting out the way.
And Canadian sets the fastest lap. Closing in on Bio.
Yeah, Nat having to let a lot of people pass, but does well. There's a blue flag, but I think that's from Nat letting the people by. So yeah, TC just cruising out front right now. Will he come in again? I don't think he needs to necessarily. He's gonna have to end this race on 11 lap old tire. Or sorry, they will be 18 lap old mediums.
I was gonna say they would be older than that.
Yeah, sorry, they're 11 laps old now. But they'll be 18 at the end of the race if you were to stay on them, and that's tough on this track. And even though he's got a good gap to J-Mick, Bio and Canadian are still definitely dangers. Yeah, they're dangers. Even though they seem like they're, you know, 7 or so seconds back, they could still definitely threaten for a win right here. We'll see how quickly Bio is able to dispatch J-Mick. But Bio should definitely be able to get this done, being that he's on softs, and Canadians on some fresh mediums, and then also David behind them on the fresh softs. I don't know how David lost so much time, though.
That's what I meant. Like that extra little lap, for some reason, he lost so much time, kind of.
Weird.
Which I honestly thought when
Carney's in the pits.
Bio came out.
Carney into the pits.
Oh, okay. Why is so TC's gonna go into the pits? Okay, so he did not feel comfortable.
I don't blame him. The tire wear on this track is insane. So this is gonna open up so much. He's gonna come out in 5th, maybe behind his teammate as well in 6th. We'll see. I think Gelfi either way will let him pass, but TC's got a lot of work to do. He's about. Actually, no. Laps. I mean, he's about 10 seconds back from Canadian. And he's on fresh softs, whereas Canadian's on the fresh mediums. So this could be
10 seconds though.
This could be interesting. Yeah, knowing Canadian's pace, it could be tough.
Where's Bio gonna?
Oh, they might go 3 wide.
Oh,
hey,
don't touch. Beautiful race in there.
J-Mick stays ahead for now, but here comes Bio on the outside. And he's going to have the DRS as well. Here comes Canadian behind him. J-Mick's going to take the toe. And Canadian does take P2. This is great racing from the boys. It was conservative but aggressive at the same time. David picks up a 3-second penalty. That could be big.
Yeah, that might have just taken him out as TC did go around his teammate.
Yeah, Bio and Canadian do not have penalties. And currently they have a 3-second advantage on him. So technically, Bio and Canadian are 6 seconds ahead of the championship contender, David. So TC, see how he's doing. He's still about 8 seconds behind. So, okay, so J-Mick does dip into the pits. Only 9 laps done on those mediums, but this is getting interesting. I love 2-stop races. They're so much better than 1-stop races, man. They are so much better. It opens so much up. There's so many more openings for mistakes. So TC does get past J-Mick, hopping him into 4th, and his teammate Gelfi into 5th place. Gelfi, I don't think, taking the same decision as these other guys. He's on 13-lap-old mediums, but I don't think he's choosing to go into the pits here anytime soon. I think he's going to stay out and try to make these mediums last to the end of the race. But yeah, TC slowly chipping away. It's about 4/10 that he's gained on David since I last checked. It's been about a lap. So he is just gaining on David slightly. But I mean, everybody in the top 3 now is also on, not fresh tires, but while TC is doing his first lap on those soft tires, these guys have done a couple of 3 or 4 laps on those tires. So I don't know how big the delta between the 2 tires is really going to be. I don't think it'll be huge.
Yeah, Bio on softs, Canadian on the mediums here. Canadian obviously on newer mediums.
But
and Bio's old softs.
But I don't think TC was necessarily in a position to be able to stay out. I think we've seen how easy it is to take.
Well, J-Mick was gonna pit anyways,
right?
But once they got in clean air there, they were probably going to start chipping down at that
oh
time.
yeah, oh yeah, and I think it would have been very quick too.
And there was still
and there
9
would have been
laps left.
if they get behind him in the DRS, TC would have absolutely no defense. So I think he was kind of in a tough place where he didn't necessarily want to pit, but he had to. He didn't. He couldn't have necessarily stayed out. But now it's kind of put a podium into question. I don't know if he's going to have enough time, 5 laps left, to catch up to these guys who have also who pitted, but pitted a little bit earlier. And I think that was the move. I think they pitted earlier, and I think that's given them the time to make up those positions that they need. I think TC may have just put it off too late. But I have been proven wrong as the lead changes yet again. Canadian taking the lead from Bio on lap 23, and he's on the fresh mediums. Bio's on the fresh softs. This could be very interesting. Will the softs just run out of life here, or will Bio be able to put up a defense and come back and attack Canadian?
My bad.
Oh no, you're good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I didn't know you. You weren't gone for that long.
And shit.
No worry. You didn't miss much, but the
yeah,
lead did change.
I seen that. I seen that nice move by Canadian to get it done, and he's already out of DRS range.
Yeah,
that
you're
quick.
right. I mean, and the interesting part as well, David isn't really cutting into that time that much. I think David is kind of in a position where he's cool with this, you know? So, I mean, where we stand right now, he finishes 3rd, because I don't think TC will even get in the 3-second gap, personally. I don't. I think TC will probably end up finishing here in 4th. But like I said, I've been proven wrong, but...
What is 3rd? 18 or
15.
15.
Second is 18.
Yeah, my bad.
3rd is 15. So he's got
almost cut it.
It would cut it down. So is that an 8?
12?
Is it 8 or 12?
It would be 12.
Right. Okay. So I mean, that would make it so going into the final race.
Potentially, he
Tails
could set a fastest lap
too.
It would
basically be a situation where Tails would have to get 6th or 7th or lower to lose the championship. That's where we're currently at right now, if it stays like that. I
think he's in the pit
He is
lane.
in the pits. He is. Okay, I was about to say.
J-Mick goes around Gelfie there. That's a nice move there.
Yeah, I mean, J-Mick's had a very good race. I think maybe could have been even better. Obviously.
And David goes around and loses part of his wing. No. And he's got to wait for TC to go by, and now he spins it back around here.
Goodness. Here comes J-Mick. J-Mick's coming around the corner right now. Gelfie's not far behind him as well.
Oh, and David's
gonna go to the pits. That's commentator curse at its worst right there. This is going to flip the championship on its head. Where is he going to come out? Because Tito, has already passed him. Bonhomie is passing him right now. I think he will stay ahead of Black Balla, but at best right now he's going to have P8. He's only got 3 laps to go.
Oh, man.
And at best, he's only going to pick up a couple points from this race. That is so unfortunate.
It really is. Now, yeah, he's gonna stay in P8, and he really doesn't have or he's got Bonhomie. 3 seconds, 3 laps here. Can he come in there? But that would still only be an extra 2 points or point.
And yeah, I mean, wow.
Yeah, devastating.
That's terrible,
coming down
man.
to it. He's played his cards.
Couple of laps.
He's been very conservative and cautious and stuff, and made moves that had himself in a good position. And it happened so quick too. I was actually riding on board with him there, and just took a little bit too much curb, almost Latifi corner kind of, and just
yeah,
got a little bit loose, and
yeah, and Yeah, no, I mean, now we're in a situation where he's only going to pick up 4 points, and I mean, that just changes that. That requires almost a miracle going into Brazil.
It could be well, maybe we'll see a little Prost or something then. You know?
You might see it, because it's going to be a situation where David would have to win, and either Tails cannot get a single point, or he would have to finish in 10th or 9th. So it's going to be very, very interesting going into the final race, because, yeah, 8th place, as we know, is about 4 points. Not about, it is 4 points.
It's around that area.
So 23 points, 23-point deficit going into the final race. That's a hill to climb, that's for sure. That's a hill to climb, but
it's about the biggest ask you could do.
Yeah, not far from. We've got a couple yellow flags here. Who is that? That Bonhomie? Oh, that's Black Bala. Fortunately, having a spin.
Yeah, and obviously we wouldn't have enough time, even with the safety car, now to queue everyone back up. 2 laps remaining.
Yeah, the only, as weird as this sounds, I'm happy it was himself and not somebody else.
Oh, for sure.
I'm just happy because that was like my biggest worry. I was like, please, someone else don't, fluff this up.
Yeah, no, you never want to see like titles decided with third party or nothing,
Right. And I think that's why it becomes a challenge with the attendance towards the end of leagues. I mean, part of it's people don't want to even be involved, be in that situation where something happens and they affect the championship, and also they know that they're not necessarily fighting for that much. So it can be tough. But yeah, last 2 laps of this race, Canadian comfortably out in front now, 6.5 seconds. Bio behind him, about to pick up, I believe, his 2nd or 3rd podium of the year, and Total Carney about to make his return to the podium, a long-awaited return to the podium. It's been a very long time for TC, so I don't want to, commentate the cursive, man. But because literally the lap before David spun, I was, talking about, all right, if it stays like this, it's gonna be like this. Oh man, terrible.
We're still about a lap and a half left, as Canadian is just like drove away here, almost 7 seconds. I mean, that's
significant time. I think this is also just showing like the softs aren't that viable of a tire on this track. I think we saw it in the first stints. We saw like lap 4 or 5, those soft tires were starting to go. And yes, they were, those were the used ones. But
still though, that's very early.
Yeah, and then you see now, they really only lasted about 6 laps, I'd say, and it seems like they kind of just fell off a cliff. So, yeah, the medium tires, Canadian, I mean, definitely not his first win of the season, but one of his better performances, I would say, because he had a lot of work to do. We were saying at the beginning of the race, when he took that early pit stop and it put him down in like P12, we were saying he would have a lot of work to do. But, I mean, he got a lot of those overtakes done.
Yeah, no, he made an extra stop. How many has he done? Has he done 3 stops or 2?
He might have. There's been no safety cars this race as well, which is surprising. No VSCs either. Canadian has stopped twice. So, yeah, he's been on 3 different sets of tires.
Yeah, coming around.
So, yeah, it looks like Bio's going to make this one-stop work. I mean, shout out to the one-stoppers. It was only him and Gelfi that will end up finishing inside of the top 10, doing a one-stop. Personally, I did not think that was even remotely possible, and I believe Bio did a medium to soft. No?
Yeah.
That's impressive. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's definitely one of the more impressive tire performances. That's up there with David's Monaco performance, the 34 laps.
nice job and stuff. Yeah,
So
one
yeah,
stopper.
Canadian takes home another win in ROR. Bio taking home second place, second step on the podium, and TC returns to the podium after a long-awaited time. I mean, he's been down and out for a little while, and David
Oh,
actually
and David
just
just,
DNF'd.
oh my goodness, coming through the final sector there.
Oh
Oh my goodness,
no!
he wrecks coming around. Literally with only 3 corners left, and now
Oh man,
that is going to be a decider.
that is.
Oh, that is not what you want to see there, but
Yeah, that is going to decide the championship. So Tails will be Vapor. Oh my goodness.
I know I was on board with it.
Did he? Okay, he did make it to the finish line.
I did
But
that the
no,
other day too, and did not finish the race. Man, it
that's
was frustrating.
very unfortunate, but that will decide the championship. So Tails will be the champion of Season 2 ROR Realm of Racing. I mean, wow. I wasn't
Yeah, no,
expecting
I
it to
mean,
end like that.
yeah, no, that's very anticlimactic, but I mean, he did come in and have a very dominating performance, but yeah, it's so unfortunate though for David right there. I mean, there was only 4 laps left when he was sitting on podium, or P4, and
Yeah. It just all went downhill those last 5 laps.
when it rains, it pours that quick.
No kidding. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
that put a damper. Oh man.
that is, I mean, well, shit, that's gonna do it for the championship. We're still, obviously, we'll see you guys next week at Brazil for the season ender. But Tails BR, you are the ROR champion. Congratulations. And Alfa Romeo also the constructor champion. So, I mean, the double championship going to Alfa Romeo, but I mean, I'm sure David's probably crushed right now. He had an
Yeah,
amazing
that's.
season. He led for most of the season. In the last couple of races, man, it just didn't come together.
Yeah, no, he should definitely. I mean, obviously, gonna be disappointed in himself and stuff, but got a lot to hang his hat on. Though, is a phenomenal driver and had, like you mentioned, for most of the year though he was out front and stuff. You know, having a nice drive, but that just shows you how quick, even in virtual racing, real racing, it doesn't matter how quick it can churn.
It can all go down. But yeah, no, that'll do it. We will see you guys next week. Same time, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Time at Brazil. Holy fucking shit. Ugh.